Are we on?
Yeah, we're going.
We're finally doing
rolling.
this. We don't need a fifth start. We're good.
Yeah, 3 was enough. 3, 4?
3, 4 times. Hey, it's been a minute. It's been a minute since we were here.
We're back.
We're back.
Actually, are we back? It's a new name. It's kind of a new podcast.
That's a great question. We've evolved. We were additively...
Still a good name.
How many? Did we do 3 episodes?
3?
4 episodes?
4?
Now we are additively 2.0. And when additively evolves, then we evolve the name. What have we come up with?
Actually, nothing.
Oh.
We didn't come up with anything.
Oh, what did you come up with? No. What
Neither of us.
Who came up with the name?
Your beautiful wife.
My beautiful wife, also known as?
My mother.
Your beautiful mother. That's
yes.
right.
So, we had this tradition for a long time, 5, 6 years now?
5, 6 years.
Where, in the middle of the night, Insomnia. Teenager.
Yeah.
We'd be up at 2 a.m. by coincidence, and we'd go down to the kitchen, not communicated, and one of us would be eating cereal, so the other person would join them in eating cereal.
Yep.
And we called it cereal time. It's like the one-on-one bonding time, basically.
Worked great.
And we kept doing it. We still do it to this day every once in a while.
Yeah.
And we were talking the other night about this, setting everything up for the podcast earlier in the week. And my mother asked why we don't just call it cereal time.
It's great. I don't know why we never thought of that. I mean, it was a thing when we started additively. We were doing cereal. We've been doing cereal time for 5 years.
Longer than the podcast by a lot.
So it's cereal time now.
Cereal time, episode 1, additively episode 4?
Right. As in cereal you eat, obviously.
Yes, not like cereal you kill.
Oh, wow. Dark.
That got dark.
Somebody's been watching too many documentaries.
Sorry.
What is the best cereal? There is a right answer.
There are 2.
Okay, I'll take it.
In this household,
Oh.
I feel like we can unanimously agree everybody likes s'mores.
S'mores.
S'mores cereal.
That is amazing.
And then, personal choice, the Martians have a laser beam pointed at Earth. I need to give an answer to President Obama before we get zapped. I'm saying Captain Crunch.
6 years ago.
This is dated now.
That's very dated.
I'm saying Captain Crunch.
2023. Obama?
Oh, yeah.
Captain Crunch?
Yeah.
That's an excellent answer.
Thank you.
That's an excellent answer.
Cut the roof of your mouth.
I would have said Golden Grahams. Growing up, Golden Grahams, phenomenal. But in the s'more cereal, they have Golden Grahams.
They have Golden
Grahams. S'mores is a combo of
Puff.
Golden Grahams, Cocoa Puffs, and
the marshmallows from Lucky Charms.
But Captain Crunch had for the first time just this past Christmas season. We were in the grocery store, and for some reason I picked it up. Haven't had Captain Crunch in years, and that is amazing.
Oh, it hits the spot. Absolutely.
It does hit the spot.
Yeah, there's definitely a market for it. Yeah, Captain Crunch.
Captain Crunch.
Name another product that is known for cutting up the mouths of children
and that people
still buy it. Yeah.
Yeah, Pop Rocks. That's an old thing.
Catholic priests.
Yeah. Oh wow, wow. That's dark. Dark.
Well, Pope Benedict's dead. What's he gonna do? Get mad at me?
Oh man. So I am sick. We were going to podcast. Today is Sunday. We were going to podcast yesterday, Saturday. But Friday night I started feeling bad, and yesterday just felt like death warmed over. We got the flu or something, took the COVID test, it's not there. But today I'm up. I'm not 100% by any means, but we've been postponing it, and Sean Schmickel's not available for the next few days. So we just decided we're going to power through and do it. So we might have to cut a little if I'm laughing and I'm hacking and coughing, and there's a lot of fluids here that I'm drinking. On that note, you'd already commented on it.
I've commented on it.
The best thing about being sick.
What is the best thing about being sick?
Yeah, I have a thought on it.
The best thing about being sick is that first morning when you wake up and you're no longer sick. Because being sick, you miss. You don't think about, right now I don't think about, I'm breathing normal. But if I were to get cold, the first thing I'd be thinking is, oh man, I miss breathing normally. So that first morning, that first big deep breath, I think that's the best part. Also warm showers.
Warm showers are good. For me, I think the best part of being sick is the voice that comes with it. Because
the Morgan Freeman voice you got?
Here's the deal. So check this out. So I believe that... I'm going to move that out of the way. Just a little insight. You never really know what your voice sounds like until you hear yourself on tape and somebody plays it back to you. Most people, when they hear their own voice back, don't like it as much. That's what I really sound like. Unless you're very used to it and you're a public speaker or whatever like that. But most people don't hear themselves talking a lot. For me, I have always felt my voice is a little too high. Not high squeaky, but it's like 1/2 octave or octave too high. When I get sick, it gives me the voice I wish I had all the time. And so, like right now, you hear me. I've got a lot of bass in my voice. Like I think I do.
Yes, you do. I think I do. You sound like Morgan Freeman.
There you go. Andy,
but like less
Andy
old.
Dufresne crawled through a river of. What's that?
Shawshank.
Still never seen that movie.
Remind me to come back to Shawshank in a minute.
So I like the voice, and I would submit that for me, if I knew I wasn't going to die from it, if I could be sick for a week, 7 straight days of being sick, fever, chilled, all that stuff, but at the end of it, I would keep the voice I have permanently for the rest of my life, I'd do it.
I have a crazy thing to tell you about. They're called cigarettes.
Oh, that'll do it.
That's just saying.
That's the old school way. Just smoke a couple thousand packs of that and you'll get that voice.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like it.
No, I get what you're saying. I feel my voice, and I listen to it a lot. Live stream on Twitch, make YouTube videos. I'm always hearing my own voice, even when I have the mic going. It's coming out of those headphones right now. So if I have it on, I can always hear myself instantly. Oh, yeah. But the problem with that is I feel like my voice is nasally. I don't feel like it's too high or too deep. I feel like it bounces back and forth like puberty. But it feels nasally. So when I'm sick, it only gets worse. The one thing about my voice I don't like is amplified by like 10.
Oh, like that character on, what is it, Monsters, Inc., that slug lady with the glasses?
Oh, yeah. Mike Wazowski.
Like that one. But you don't sound like that,
I feel like I sound like what Neville Longbottom looks like.
Wow.
I mean, it's...
You sound like what Neville... That's a deep cut.
I look at Neville, not now, because he ended up growing up and like getting in shape, and now he's kind of like an attractive male.
Wow.
But like Sorcerer's Stone, Neville Longbottom actor, I feel like he should sound like me.
Wow.
If that makes sense.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think I sound like anybody. Maybe when I have my sick voice, I can pull some Morgan Freeman.
You sound like... Remember, No Country for Old Men. The heads or tails. Heads you die, tails you live.
Bardem?
Yes, that's what you sound like.
That's an awesome movie.
That's what you sound like.
And that's a dark character, but I'll take it.
There's a dog at the door.
Oh, a dog at the door. I'll take it. That was a great movie.
That is a great movie.
Speaking of which, this is not a hot take. This is a cold take. This is a 5-year-old cold take. La La Land, an awesome movie.
La La Land is a great movie.
Awesome movie. Just saw it for the first time yesterday.
Just saw it for like the 9th time yesterday.
He pushed and pushed for Mom and I to see this thing. We'd never watched it. Didn't think I had any great interest. He said, you got to watch it, We watched it for the first time yesterday. Again, not a hot take. That movie's been out for 5 years, but whatever it's worth.
Good movie. It holds up.
Movie recommendation: if you haven't seen it, go see La La Land.
Yes, if it comes back into theaters in the town you're in, which it will,
or just stream it. Okay.
Theaters. We need to bring back theaters.
Oh, we're going to talk about theaters.
We got it. I know it's on your list somewhere.
So theaters, I came up with I didn't come up with the premise. I mean, there's articles all over the internet everywhere.
You invented the movie theater.
I invented the movie theater.
Yes.
My grandpa did. And then my dad said, hey, you're never going to come unless you serve popcorn. And that's why they did it.
And then you added the recliners, right?
Yeah, recliners came in my lifetime.
And the stupid 3D glasses.
Actually, the sad thing is the recliners in movie theaters did show up in my lifetime. I'm old. There's a significant age difference between you and I.
I remember the recliners. That was like early
when they
2000s,
got added in,
right?
Yeah, we didn't always used to have those.
That was my lifetime. I remember it being a weird novelty to have recliners. Now it's common. I remember that being new.
So, theaters, I believe theaters are dying out. I believe, and it's, again, that's not even a hot take. You can go online, the theater's closing. Regal
Cinemas
is going to file for bankruptcy, or is potentially might file for bankruptcy. I think there are less theaters now than there used to be, and this doesn't set well with you.
No, absolutely not.
Okay, why?
So my favorite movie was Baby Driver. It's still up there. Absolutely up there. But as of where it ranks my top 10, I don't know. But I remember very vividly, I'm on vacation. I go to see my grandmother in Ontario, California.
Oh, yeah.
And there's nothing to do in Ontario, California, except I went to the skate park at a few points. I listened to some new music artists, which ended up sticking around to me. A very formative vacation. And I convinced my grandma to go to one movie with me, and I picked it. I picked Baby Driver because it looked cool. I knew nothing about it, didn't know who Edgar Wright was, nothing like this.
Ooh, Edgar Wright, Shaun of the Dead.
And I walked in, and it's the first time I've ever gone to a movie, and before the movie starts, the director gets up and says, "Thank you for watching this movie the way it was intended to be watched, on the biggest screen with the best speakers. thank you for that.
What do you mean the director gets up? The director's there?
Like, before the movie starts,
there's
a
a
video plays of Edgar Wright thanking you for watching in theaters instead of waiting for it to come to streaming. Because that was the trend at the time, and still is.
Yeah.
I think Top Gun Maverick did the same thing, where Tom Cruise got up and he said, thank you for watching this in theaters.
Yeah.
But that, like, stuck with me, just watching Edgar Wright, this man I've never seen before, say thank you for watching this the way I wanted you to watch it. And to me, that's the same as, like, going to a museum to see a painting. That's how you're meant to look at it, not on your phone. Leonardo da Vinci didn't think, I want people to look at the Mona Lisa smaller, with less detail, with different colors. He wanted them to look at the Mona Lisa.
I've seen the Mona Lisa. I've been there, and it's small.
Yeah, it got lit on fire by Edward Norton.
What? Oh, right, yeah. In a new movie.
Glass Onion.
They probably didn't do that with the original Mona Lisa. But it's a lot smaller than you think. For as popular as it is, I mean, it's about the size of this picture of some guy nobody knows.
That's multiple Grammy Award-winning artist, Childish Gambino.
Childish Gambino. Not trying to hate on Childish Gambino. I don't dislike Childish Gambino. I just didn't know who it was.
Now you know.
Now I know.
It's the This Is America music video, and that's signed by the artist.
Childish Gambino? He's not the
guy who did the picture.
Fair enough. Okay.
I don't know who does.
Me turning away probably isn't great for the microphone.
Oh, I did that too.
Sorry. If I'm turning back, that doesn't help. What are you gonna do? Rookies. Bunch of rookies.
I've been streaming for like 3 or 4 years. I should know better.
You should know better. So, in the movie La La Land, we're not going to keep coming back to that, I promise. There's a quote.
We could.
So, Ryan Reynolds, nope, not Ryan Reynolds, not Ryan Reynolds at all. Ryan Gosling. Ryan Gosling is trying to open a jazz club and says to Emma Stone, says, nobody's going to come because people don't like jazz anymore. And she says, people will want to go because you're passionate about it. And people love what other people are passionate about. How do you feel about that? Do you think do you get passionate about something, anything, that you would not normally be passionate about just because somebody you know is on fire for it? I think there's truth to that.
Yes, absolutely. I think a lot of it comes down to, a good example for me is sports fandom, right?
Oh, yeah.
I'm a Denver Nuggets fan, but my best friend is a Los Angeles Lakers fan. So whenever I see the Lakers on a 5-game winning streak or something like that, like they're on right now, as long as one of those wins wasn't my team, I'm happy for them. I wouldn't care about Los Angeles Lakers at all otherwise. Why would I? But people I know care about it, so it kind of forces you to care about it because it gives you something to talk about and something to kind of, I don't know.
Okay.
Do you get what I mean?
I get what you mean as far as the general sense, but not on sports. Here's another take right here. We've talked about this just recently at the house. I am not a sports guy. I am an only child raised by a single mom who was not into sports. And as I grew up, I didn't follow sports. I didn't play sports. And then as I became an adult male, I never got into sports. And so to this day, I follow nothing. I'm lucky that I know Denver Nuggets is the Denver basketball team.
True, right? Yes.
Broncos. I know football teams for some reason.
He's
I know
really
the
good
names
with the
of football teams, but I don't know any players. I couldn't tell you a single person on any other sports team. Couldn't tell you our quarterback for the Broncos. Couldn't tell you a single player on those. I pay no attention to sports.
What is going on with the Buffalo Bills?
Oh, that I saw. Buffalo Bills I saw because some dude, like 24-year-old dude, had a heart attack on the field. And the coach saved him or revived him or
had a
helped.
heart attack. He ended up getting revived. They used defibrillators. He was in the hospital. He is FaceTiming the team. He's talking. He's like communicating. He's obviously not good to just go back out and play football. I probably never will.
Yeah.
But he is making a recovery very fast. And it's been very good to see. He had a charity with the goal of raising like $3,000 to buy underprivileged children toys. Okay. He's raised almost $10 million right now at the time of this episode.
Wow, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Like everyone in the NFL came out and dropped like $10,000. Like it was great.
That's awesome. Yeah. I don't know who that player's name is.
Damar Hamlin?
Oh, that sounds right.
I might have the first name wrong.
Just because I had it on.
Number 3.
Because I had it on. Yeah, you know more about it than I do.
Yeah, but that's the only thing I know about the NFL this season. Russell Wilson sucks. There you go.
Who's Russell Wilson?
Our quarterback, Denver Broncos.
Denver Broncos quarterback?
He traded him for like $250 million from Seattle. It's like the biggest trade of the offseason.
And what's our record, Denver Broncos?
I think we won like 4 games. We are very bad this year. We are the worst team in the league this year.
Now, I wouldn't mind watching a little more hockey, but why? Would I be interested in hockey?
Because they punch each other in the face?
Letterkenny.
Letterkenny? Oh, you little Canuck.
Oh, man.
My gosh.
Letterkenny's awesome. So I'm a huge fan of Letterkenny. If you've not watched it, go watch it. Do not watch it with your grandma. It's not your grandma's favorite show. She won't like it.
Squirrely Dan?
Squirrely Dan. Oh, Squirrely Dan. Yeah, I laugh and chuckle at that show all the time. And they play a lot of hockey in that. I'm joking on the fact that it's going to get me into hockey. It's not getting me into hockey, but I do.
If anything would get you into hockey, it would just be being from Colorado. We're like the biggest hockey state.
That makes sense.
Us in Minnesota. That's like what we have.
Minnesota. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, I don't care about sports. I'm not a very competitive person.
Not for
I
nothing.
don't really care who wins. We've had Super Bowl parties where literally I'll just ask, literally for somebody who doesn't watch sports, sometimes we'll have Super Bowl parties at the house. Right, we'll host a Super Bowl party. And I'll say, all right, who are we rooting for? And just kind of go with the majority as to
what
because I don't care.
It's tough because I want to host like an NBA finals party because I care about basketball a lot more than football, obviously, right?
Okay.
But they're 7-game series, so you never know. It's not like you can invite the same group of people to 7 different games. It could be over in 4 games, and you plan to do it on like the 5th night. It could be over in 5 or 6 or 7. You never know. Like if it goes to game 7, that's easy. You have everyone come over for the last game of the series. Whoever wins this game wins it all. But at any point in those last 4 games, one team could win it all, or the other team could. Like it's hard to really root for, or it's hard to get people together to watch the NBA Finals.
Okay.
Unless you're willing to sit down and watch all 7 games.
I don't even understand how this works. I'm hearing you. I'm
It's
understanding your
first to 4,
explanation.
right? So a team could just sweep, win all 4 games, and
Is
it's
that-
over on the 4th game.
If you are an NBA fan,
Yeah.
I can't believe we're talking about sports. We're not going to talk
this
about
is
sports.
not a sports podcast.
This is not a sports podcast. This is not going to continue. I promise that. But now I'm just kind of curious. But if you're an NBA fan and you like the Nuggets and they go to the finals, do you want to see a 4-game sweep, or would you rather a 7-game down to the wire, pull it out, win? What's better for you as a fan?
So the most iconic series of all time was in 2018. It's Golden State Warriors versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. Yes, California.
From Cleveland, Ohio.
Yes.
It's in the name.
He's killing it.
I'm killing it.
And so, who was it? Golden State gets up by 3 wins to 1. All they need to do is win 1 game.
Right.
And LeBron James, through just sheer motivation, brings the Cavaliers, drags them up, and they come back and they win the next 3 games in a row. And it is the first time ever a team in the postseason had come back from a 3-1 lead. So and you
attribute that all to LeBron James?
Yes.
Okay. I've heard of that name. I'm not so...
LeBron James was just unstoppable that year. It was phenomenal.
We like LeBron James? We don't like LeBron James.
We like LeBron James as a basketball player. We think LeBron James is kind of a jackass off the court.
Wow. You told me someone else you thought was a jackass.
Michael Jordan.
There's no way.
Michael Jordan was a dick, and I can...
He does underwear commercials.
Put a clip right here of Michael Jordan being a complete dick to his teammates.
I know. I've never heard this until you said that to me the other day. I've never heard this.
Michael Jordan
I thought he was beloved.
No. It's because he did a movie with the Looney Tunes, so everyone thinks he's like for the kids.
I thought everybody liked Michael Jordan.
No, Michael Jordan's his teammates hate him. Scottie Pippen does not like Michael Jordan.
Wow. Okay. Well, we have to move off sports.
Yeah, get off sports.
Can we get off sports?
Gladly.
You talked about the guy getting hurt, the football player getting hurt. Guess who else got hurt?
Jeremy Renner.
Jeremy Renner, otherwise known as Hawkeye.
He's doing quite well, though. He posted that video with his mother and sister.
It's a traumatic injury, so I don't know what happened to him. Did they ever actually say?
He got ran over by, I think, So here's the rumor, was that he lost a leg. Now, I will not say if that's true.
I was wondering if he lost a limb. They were saying traumatic injuries.
He had both arms in the video. He's getting like a sponge bath, like head massage from his mother, I think, in the video. Maybe his sister. But it never goes down below the waist. And all I've heard is that he's lost a leg, but I haven't heard that confirmed by anyone. That's just kind of scuttlebutt online.
I was wondering when it said traumatic injuries if he had lost a limb somewhere. Now, as Hawkeye, can he... Can he be Hawkeye with only one leg?
Here's the yes.
He can be Hawkeye. It's all about.
Here's the thing, though.
He was your favorite Avenger.
He was my favorite Avenger at one point.
All right, go ahead.
The only Avengers movie Hawkeye wasn't in is the only Avengers movie they lost. They kind of need him to beat Kane. I'm just saying.
What movie is that?
He's not in Infinity War, and that's the only one they lose in.
What do you mean he's not in Infinity War?
He's literally not. Him and Ant-Man are the only 2 Avengers not in Infinity War.
Is that
That's
true?
why Endgame opens up with him on the farm. He had no idea until his wife and kids disappeared. Excuse me.
He did. Oh.
He's not.
Oh,
in
it talks
Infinity War.
about them being off grid. Okay, well that's great because that leads into another perfect segue. I mean, the segues are beautiful.
I don't know what I'm segueing
You
to.
are
But I'll take
segueing.
it.
So, you've seen all the Marvel movies except Thor: Dark World. Didn't miss anything.
And the Eternals.
Oh God, didn't miss much with that. So okay, but of all the Avengers, the storyline that we just lived through. Again, this is it's 2023. Avengers. We're still doing it. We're still going forward with Kang, but we're still talking about this stuff. Which Avenger did they not need? The storyline that plays out just as it did. Who, for example, you got to have Thor because Thor's the one that brings Vision to life. You got to have Iron Man. So somebody.
You gotta have Black Widow because she dies for the stone.
I was just going to say Black Widow was the one that they didn't need.
She's the one that dies for the
but
stone.
That's how
You
they
need
get
her.
the stone.
The
Maybe
one
they could
person
kill
I think
somebody
they
else.
really don't need, War Machine.
Yikes.
The only thing he did was get paralyzed to tear the Avengers apart, but that could have been anyone.
That is wow. I wasn't even thinking about War Machine, but you don't really need, with respect to Don Cheadle, but you don't.
Hotel Rwanda's a banger.
Banger. But you don't need War Machine in that.
I mean, it's nice to have Tony have somebody there with him the entire time, but no, Rhodey doesn't contribute to the overall story yet. Admittedly, Armor Wars is coming out next year.
What's Armor Wars?
It's a Disney Plus show. It's about Don Cheadle, and I think Vision's in it, and the White Vision from WandaVision, and
Oh yeah, they kind of left that hanging with the White Vision out there.
I think Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. allegedly has a cameo, but it might be like a flashback or something.
Wow.
That's
Okay.
coming out. It's maybe this year actually. Armor Wars is soon.
I gotta admit, I'm kind of out of touch with it.
Ironheart from Black Panther 2 is also in it, which you haven't seen. Spoiler:
I've not
Ironheart's
seen
in
Black
it,
Panther
but she's
2.
in the trailer.
Ironheart's a woman.
Ironheart's a woman.
Okay.
It's a young black girl at a college that builds an Iron Man
She a woman
suit.
in the comic strip.
Yeah,
Okay.
Ironheart.
Okay.
Riri Williams.
Riri.
Riri.
Is that a good name in Hollywood? Riri.
I mean, it makes me think of Rihanna. That could either be a good thing or a bad thing. She's a billionaire.
Oh, and Riri. Don't even get me started.
Are
on
we
Chris
going
Brown.
back to
We're not
Additively
going back to-
episode
oh my
1?
God, Additively episode 1 where we did a whole thing on Chris Brown and Rihanna. We are not going to circle back to that.
My take on that hasn't changed, but my filter has, so I will no longer say that take out loud. If you want to know what we're talking about on Spotify, just look up Additively and listen to the first episode. I won't say it out
He
loud
was okay
anymore,
with Chris Brown.
but I still am okay with Chris Brown. He makes great music and he's an incredible dancer.
No.
And nothing else.
Nothing else. Yeah. We've had the Me Too movement. A bunch of things have happened in the past 4 or
For
5
the
years.
record, I made that take in the heat of the Me Too movement.
That's true.
That was a ballsy call.
That was a ballsy call.
Why am I here, by the way?
Why
How
are-
am I here?
How are you here?
I feel like this doesn't connect to the cliffhanger at the end of
So
Additively.
the last cliffhanger, great.
Yeah.
Additively. Well, let's be realistic. We did 3 episodes of Additively, and it ended like 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 2.5. It's been a while. And as we ended, Sean. Wait. We haven't even addressed that. We're like an hour into this. This is
right.
Sean, who I call Schmickle. My name is Cortland, who we call Komomo sometimes, but I call myself Komomo.
I'll call you Komomo.
You do call me Komomo. So if you hear those names, we're talking about each other. So Sean was on his way to leave out of our house and head out to the military, Marine Corps. Is that what we're talking about?
Yes,
that's what
I was
we're
going with
saying.
that,
And now, for those doing the math, 2 years have gone by and you're back.
Yes.
Are you on leave?
No, I'm here permanently.
How are you here permanently? Did you get a short stint with the military?
Yes, I did. In the wise words of the French and myself 2 months ago, I done goofed.
You done goofed.
So I was in a state studying a thing. I'm not allowed to say more than that for the internet. And this thing was really, really hard. And I failed it. I'm not a good student. Bricks? Really hard?
They're hard, yeah. We're studying that. We weren't studying bricks. Sorry.
I was not studying bricks.
Do your thing.
I was learning... I can say this. I was learning a foreign language.
There you go.
And I was learning it in 18 months.
Yep.
To full fluency. And it was very difficult for me. I'm not a good student. I failed. And they were like, that's strike 1. Mind you, strikes in the military, it's kind of a 2-strike system, not 3. And then I got a speeding ticket for going egregiously fast.
Egregiously fast.
We don't need to talk about the
We don't
numbers.
need to talk about that, but like my eyes got big when I heard that.
Drive safe, drive
safe.
responsible, and use cruise control like I do now.
Yes. Way too fast.
Military basically gave me a choice. They're like, you can like go, or you can fight it and try and stay. But if you lose, you just go to jail. And I was like, how about I fight it a little bit and you don't send me to jail if I lose? And they're like, okay. So I did. I kind of appealed it a little bit. I was like, hey, I done goofed. Bad student. Drove a little too fast, but I could still serve the country. And they're like, you're a liability. And I was like, fine by me. And I came home. And I'm a lot happier here. This isn't a bash of the military. I made poor decisions. I was young. I was dumb. And I've learned from them. And we're here now.
Hey,
that's the important part.
And you know what? That's an honest reflection of the past 2 years. And the reality is, summed up, it didn't go great. And sometimes things in life that we plan to do don't work out.
Yeah, and sometimes that's okay. Like at the end of the day, I wasn't happy, but I was willing to serve my time. And then I made some mistakes, and I got offered an opportunity to get out. Even if they had said, hey, you know what, you can stay, I'd probably still want to be out. I'm a lot happier here, and I think that's important.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
of course,
you make all the money, you can have all the responsibility, but if you're not happy, none of it matters.
That's right. Who's here? Who's here? Where's here? Where's here?
We're back in the same home we recorded additively in Denver, Colorado.
Yep.
I am here with Cortland, obviously.
Cortland.
His wife, my mom, Kay, who's down taking care of your daughter, right?
My daughter.
Yes.
Which is also known as...
my sister.
That's
what?
right.
This is crazy.
What?
It's like we're a family.
Now, how old are you?
20.
And how old is your sister?
4 months and 6 days.
4 months. Oh, wow. Nice pull. I didn't even have the 6 days part. I should know that.
Got you.
You got me. Yes, we are a blended family. We have... I was married before, and Kay was married before, and we had children, or child. Your mom had you. And I had 2 children, but we've got a 28-year-old son in Virginia, a 25-year-old daughter in Virginia who has triplet girls that are 3. You are 20 years old, and now your mom and I, have a 4-month-old daughter. So it's not your typical nuclear family, they used to call it. The husband, wife, boy, girl, dog, cat with white picket fence. I think they used to call it like the nuclear family. Yeah, we're not that.
It's like what they'd blow up in the nuke town.
In the what?
The nuke towns?
The nuke. Yes.
Where they set up the houses like a fake neighborhood. They have the mannequin family. That's what the nuclear family is.
So we're not that. I think. So it's a little crazy, but we love it. And it works out awesome.
Yeah. Why would you want to change it?
So we say that in our room right next door, there is little baby sleeping, Charlotte Ann, also known as
Squeaky Bean.
Squeaky Bean. She will be on camera at some points here. We will bring her on.
Maybe not this episode. Maybe this episode depends if she wakes up.
Yeah, we'll see. We're going to let her sleep. Never wake up.
I'm looking right now. Look what the barber did to my hair.
Is that not? I don't know. Is that
Does
not good?
Does it look better in person? Because it looks bad on camera.
No, it
looks
better in person. I have not had a barber touch my hair in quite some time.
Yeah, it must be nice.
Yeah, well, you know.
I want to grow mine out, but I can't. Some of us have to work for corporate America.
Some of us own their own company and don't care what their hair looks like. Just saying.
Could employ me. I'm just saying.
Mine's company of one. So
corporate crossover?
Corporate crossover. There you go. All right. Let's see. What are we going to do now? Let's talk about... There's some... Oh, you know what? We talked about Mom. And if you go back to Additively... There is an episode. It might be episode 2 or 3. It wasn't the first one. Where we did an episode on breast milk. Rice pudding. And I'm not going to tell you any more than that. Just go listen to it. But I'm actually going to double down because we're going to talk about breast milk again.
Why? Why are we back?
I'm going to tell you why. Because I'm sick, as we talked about earlier. I'm sick. Well, Mom had read that when a baby is sick, like stuffy and congested, one of the things you can do is take a little syringe and put breast milk up their nose. And it will begin to heal the sinuses and release them. And the question was, did I want to do that? Because there's plenty of breast milk in the house. And that she doesn't care. She's like, breast milk everywhere. Want to stick breast milk up your nose. So I'm thinking, I'm going to do that. I'm going to stick breast milk up my nose and see what happens. Now, it's for babies. It's not supposed to work for adults. And I Googled this online to see if this works for adults, and I don't know that it does. But I'm curious. What do you think about that? Breast milk up your nose to heal sinus infections?
I've been blindsided. This was not talked about before. Here's my stance. So breast milk, right? When the baby latches, the body of the mother kind of determines what the baby needs from their saliva. It's like, oh, you need more iron, you need more vitamin C, and it gives it to them, right?
Right, yep.
You're not latching, so it's not going to know what you need to cure it.
You don't know what we do.
You're latching with your nose? In this economy? I think the adult equivalent of breast milk up the nose is just a neti pot. And we've got one right outside. It's in my bathroom.
A neti pot.
Yes.
Which I have used and are extremely effective. But I'm curious about the breast milk up the nose thing. Maybe not.
I won't knock it, but I won't try it.
Well, no, you're not sick. That'd be weird. You put your mother's breast milk up your nose.
I was referring to later in life if I had a significant other. Their breast milk, not my mother's.
You'll have a significant other.
Oh, thank you. That's encouraging. Yeah. I'll take it.
I don't know that he'll have breast milk.
He'll? Okay. I walked into that one. Damn. Yeah.
I deserve it. I deserve it. It's funny.
I keep forgetting about the Zendaya candle that's politely right over my shoulder.
Oh, man.
Tom Holland
doing pretty good. I don't need my glasses here. I have my glasses here. So, right before we started, we came in the room to sit down, and I realized I didn't have my glasses. So I asked you to get them for me, and where did I tell you they were?
Downstairs in the kitchen.
And then I realized they weren't downstairs in the kitchen, and I yelled out something else, and where did you think I told you they were?
Hey, they're on the bed.
They're on the bed. Where were they actually?
On your head.
On my head.
Just like that.
And I didn't know until I looked into the camera, and I was like, my God, what is going on? I'm a 75-year-old woman. I can't find my glasses. It's like, my glasses are on my head, and I'm sending him all over the house to find my glasses, and they're right here, and I look in the camera, I'm like, oh my God. Right here.
I want you to know I'm taking just that clip of you saying, I'm a 75-year-old woman.
I'm a 75-year-old woman.
I'm making that my ringtone from now on.
That's it. I'll take it.
I'm a 75-year-old woman. No, that was funny.
As we're talking about babies and stuff, let's segue to something else we had talked about recently. You made a statement that I didn't do a tremendous amount of research on, and said that it is now possible for a woman to get pregnant without a man. Did you not say that?
Yes, it was through bone marrow, I believe.
Yeah, I don't think that's true.
They're also 3D printing trees.
We are 3D printing trees with like real material, right?
With like real cells, yeah.
I don't think...
the cells of the tree so it can grow.
Okay.
So you don't need to plant a seed. You just take the
existing
cytoplasm.
I need to look this up.
And you can grow a tree, yes. You can 3D print a tree.
I don't think you can do that with a human. Not 3D print a human, but I still think you don't need a man per se. You haven't needed a man for years.
The lesbians on Twitter are very adamant that they no longer need men in society, and they respond by saying, kill all men. And then when men are like...
those are some angry lesbians.
That's a very common thing. Kill all men gets like hundreds of thousands of tweets a week. Like, it is...
Why? If you want to be a lesbian, be a lesbian. Why do you have to kill the men?
It's the same notion as eat the rich and ACAB, where like...
Wait, eat the rich I know. What is ACAB?
All cops are bastards?
Oh, no.
Where, like, you could have rich people that are really nice philanthropists, but by being rich, that means they had to have disadvantaged people below them somehow. You could have cops that are great and go and play basketball in underprivileged neighborhoods, but just by supporting that establishment, they're a bad person, right? You can have men that are great and are feminists, but just by being the same gender as rapists and Bill Cosby and R. Kelly, they're the problem. And that's where the notion of, like, kill all men, eat the rich, and all cops are bastards comes from.
Oh, yeah, no.
It's a rough thing where people just generalize, like, you're the same gender as Hitler, and it's like, how do I argue with that? You're not wrong.
Well, I think there's a lot of daylight between Hitler and us.
I'm also the same gender as Kanye West, who's a lyrical genius.
Oh, don't
He's
even.
a genius.
He's plucking at me right now. We're going to get to Kanye in just a bit here, because Kanye sucks.
Kanye's the GOAT musically. But yes, I would agree he does suck right now.
Oh yeah, we're gonna touch on that. So we're saying I do, but I stand by unless I can see science otherwise. I don't believe it could be kill all men. I do not believe that a woman can have a baby without sperm. Which comes from a man.
I have also not done the research on this, but I'm fairly certain that they can take the bone marrow of women now and like the genetic structure and use that to fertilize an egg. Yes.
That is going to require some research because I've never heard that or seen it. That's crazy.
It would be terrifying, right?
That would be terrifying. They really wouldn't need men if that were the case.
That's a test tube baby.
Well, the test tube baby is just taking an egg and taking a sperm, putting it in a test tube,
right? But if like there is
but
no
it's still
sperm,
put it back in a woman.
What's the deal with all the bone marrow babies?
Is that a Jerry Seinfeld?
It was going
What's
to be.
the deal?
What's the deal with all the airplane peanuts?
Oh my God. All right. So, on Kanye, did you not tell me a few weeks ago, a month ago, when we have this constant debate about Kanye? I'm not a fan. He is a huge fan. We used to do this thing called Song of the Day. We're going to actually talk about it here in this podcast. But he loves Kanye to the point. What have we done?
So, okay, admittedly, this hasn't aged well. I didn't get this after
it hasn't aged well in 6
the Adidas
months.
contract. This happened last summer, summer of 2022. I was on my tattoo grind, and I got the graduation bear tattooed on my leg.
I don't even know what that is.
That is from his third album cover.
From his third album.
Long before he said the Jews were the problem. And that is my sister.
That's Squeaky Bean.
That is
on the
Squeaky
sock.
Bean.
Super cute. So, you have a tattoo of a man on your leg now that has come out. Well, it's not come out as being anti-Semitic.
I mean,
People
he
just
said he
view him.
finds the good in Hitler. So, he's pretty far
He
gone.
said he finds the good in Hitler.
He said, and I quote loosely, "There is something to love in everyone. Why is Hitler not included in that?" And then he said,
Yikes.
Hitler invented the microphone and the freeway
What?
and all this stuff, and that all people remember him for is the Holocaust. And it's like, yeah.
That's a big one.
I mean, I've shot a 3-point on a basketball court before, but if I killed a couple of 100 million Jews, you probably wouldn't remember the 3-point shot, you know?
Exactly.
It's not...
I think one of the things Hitler, which is weird, he is the reason, if I'm not mistaken, I might have my history wrong, we're flying off the cuff here, but I'd always heard that he was the reason we have the VW Bug, the Volkswagen Bug, because Hitler wanted a car for the masses that everybody could drive that would be affordable, and they designed, at Hitler's request, the Volkswagen Bug, which became very popular. Now,
So
this
why
is not
are we
a Hitler
canceling
podcast.
Kanye, but we're not canceling Herbie?
Well, we're definitely canceling Hitler.
I mean,
If he hasn't been canceled already, he's officially canceled on our podcast. Just so you know,
We were the
2023,
first-
Hitler's canceled.
We were the first to cancel
Maybe
Hitler.
nobody ever actually said those words. Hitler is canceled.
Dude, Hitler, it's me too.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, okay. So, we had to kill it. Now, on the Kanye thing, did you not say on Spotify or something that you were in the top 1% of listeners worldwide?
Top 0.1.
Top 0.1%
Yeah.
of listeners worldwide.
Yes.
So you just played Kanye nonstop.
That's not true. No, the thing is, think about how many people use Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
Even if 1,000 people use Spotify and I was in the top 1%, that means I'm the number one. But if millions of people use it, it means I could be in the top 10,000 people who listen to Kanye
Yeah, but
West.
millions of people being in the top 10,000 is pretty high.
I have it. If you want to keep talking, I will pull it up really quickly.
Yeah.
I think I can actually see how many hours I had listening to Kanye West specifically.
To Kanye West.
Yes.
This is anything
You
more than 3 minutes
Take
is too
this
much.
and run because this might take me like 3 minutes to find.
All right, well, that's not a problem. I've got a couple things to talk about here, and we can hit on the other tattoos you have all over your body.
I found it.
You found it. I didn't think it'd take that long. He knows a thing or two.
I listened to 2,325 minutes of Kanye West.
2,320 in a year.
Yes, in 1 year of... that's just on Spotify. It's not YouTube Music. It's not Amazon Music, anything like that.
It's too much.
Just on Spotify.
It's too much.
2,325
too
minutes.
much.
It's not that long.
What
It's
are
not
your
that
other
long.
What are your other tattoos? Have they held up?
The other ones have all aged decently well. So I have a bumblebee in honor of Tyler the Creator's Flower Boy album.
Flower Boy album.
I have a sunflower that says Sunday Morning, also Flower Boy album, and then Maroon 5 reference. Excuse me. Sprite. Shouldn't have
right.
chugged
Yeah,
it.
that's right.
I have a scantily clad woman wrapped in a snake. It was a American traditional military style tattoo. It's flash art. I was in the military. It kind of makes sense I'd have a pinup girl military tattoo.
Didn't really symbolize anything as much as that's what military guys do.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Pretend it's on the side of like a
So
fighter
that's
jet.
4, including your Kanye one.
Yes. I have a ghost on my knee that I did myself just to say I did a tattoo on myself.
A little Pac-Man looking ghost.
We'll come back to that.
Oh, yeah.
I have Spider-Man right here. Back of your knee is supposed to be one of the most painful places to get a tattoo. One of the least painful tattoos I've ever gotten, actually. I have the Prince symbol on my titty.
Wow.
We're demonetized now. And then the most recent one, and the one that aged the fastest.
Oh, aged the fastest.
Within a couple days. A couple minutes, yeah. Was I got the Twitch logo tattooed on my arm by myself.
By yourself.
Designed, drawn by a friend of a friend.
Which is already an existing logo. They're just drawing out.
Yes, they just like traced it and put on some tracing paper for me to apply because I didn't want to do it myself. I was
what did they do when they did that?
They forgot to invert it because when you apply transfer paper, it comes on backwards, so you have to flip the design when you're drawing it. This is on me as the person doing the tattoos, not telling them. But now I have the Twitch logo, which looks great to you guys, looks completely backwards to the real world, like us.
When he came home, I was like, "Oh, how's that new tattoo?" He goes, "Oh, it's great." And I said, "Isn't that backwards?" He goes, "No." And he looks down and he goes, "Oh, wait a minute."
It's too
it was
late.
Awesome.
What can
you
do?
It was awesome. It was so funny.
The best part, he saw it on TikTok before he saw it on me. So he had plenty of opportunities to text me and say, "Your tattoo's backwards," and he didn't.
Oh, no.
He waited for the moment in front of everyone in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Rude.
So, wow, there's no, I mean, it was going to be there forever, so you might as well. What is the more story about the ghost? You said come back to that in a minute. Was there something more about the ghost?
Did I? No. I did a tattoo on myself. We'll come back to that in a minute. It was going to be the segue of the Twitch one.
That's fair. All right. Let's see. What else we want to talk about? Elon Musk, the Leonardo da Vinci of our time?
No, he is not.
You used to love Elon Musk.
You
wanted the Tesla truck.
I do want the Cybertruck still.
What is it called?
Cybertruck.
Cybertruck.
I do still want that. That's accurate.
Is this my water?
It is your water. Mine's almost gone.
Is there anything... what happened with Elon? What happened with our boy
Elon Musk...
He's a genius.
He's a dumbass.
Wow. He's not a genius?
He's a dumbass.
Wow.
Elon Musk sees Twitter has a wildly overvalued stock price at, I think it's $42 a share. So $4.20 was the joke. And he tweets, he says, "I should buy Twitter." And everyone's like, "Yeah, you should." So he kind of gets this little ego boost. He's like, "Wow, the people want me to run the town square of the internet. How wonderful." And then the majority of people watching know all this. He then goes on and he says, "I'm going to do it." And he says that while the stock price of this overvalued company that bleeds money, millions of dollars a year, as in the hundreds of millions, if I'm not mistaken.
I did not know this.
It is very not profitable.
Yeah, I didn't know
who
that.
advertises on Twitter.
Right.
He says, "I'm going to buy it now." And the stock price obviously went down with the majority of the market. But he was locked into the price he said he was going to buy it at, which was $53 a share, putting it at, I think it was like 40-something billion Elon Musk had to pay. And of course, he was able to do that. He leveraged it against his Tesla stock, which is its own red flag when you're trying to buy something, because now Tesla's stock price is going down, which good. It's been overvalued for 10 years.
Wow.
But...
you got some thoughts about Elon.
I do. He just doesn't shut up. I kind of have to. I use Twitter more than any other social media. I see it all the time.
We talked about it. That's your
that is
social media.
my Facebook, yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't use Twitter.
Has run it into the ground with the decisions he's been making. And a lot of them didn't need to be made. That's the thing. There were problems on Twitter. There was rampant, you wouldn't see it scrolling through, but if you looked hard enough, you could find things like child porn and all this disgusting stuff from really political people who were believed in free speech. They would take full advantage of it. It was disgusting and wrong, and that stuff got addressed, which was great. But then they started doing little things just to show that they were making changes, because one of the complaints is that Twitter hadn't made a change in 5 years. So they added an edit button that you had to pay to use. If you wanted to edit a tweet, you had to be subscribed to the paid version of Twitter. Otherwise, you just delete it and retweet it. He also moved around the like button and the retweet button. He just switched where they were located. And these little things just to show that they were working on it, but ended up making things worse. And it just kept going. And then he said all policy decisions are going to be made via votes, because he got canceled for banning a bunch of journalists who were just doing their job. And he's just a dumbass.
And didn't he put up the thing saying that if you don't want me to be CEO, let's do a vote? And he voted himself out of his own company or something like that?
Yes.
How do you pay how much? How many?
$41 billion?
How do you pay $41 billion and then leave it up to the social media community to vote on whether you should be CEO in your own company? I wouldn't put that to a vote.
When it didn't go the way he wanted it to, he tried to come out and say, this was just a test to see how many of the people voting no were bots. Or like see how many people in this vote were actually bots. And then somebody
so he's not stepping down?
Not yet.
Wow.
He tweeted in like the most I'm 14-year-old and depressed kind of way. He was like, as soon as I find someone dumb enough to take on this responsibility, I'll go and hand over the reins. It's like, if you are actually going to appoint somebody else as CEO of Twitter, maybe don't call him a dumbass before they've even taken the job. It's like not a good move.
He spends $40 billion on the company and says, I'll give it to somebody else if I find somebody dumb enough.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not a good move.
No, he's just dumb.
Geniuses are misunderstood.
He tried to back out. He tried to back out of the deal a long time before it went through.
I heard about that.
And the courts basically said no and shut it down, which was a dub for the courts, a massive L for Twitter.
A dub?
Like
a W?
Yeah,
oh,
like a win. So, sorry.
That's limes.
20. Limes, lemons. By the way, limes and lemons. Limes and lemons was something one of my coworkers told me about that their little sibling was saying. Whenever they would come back from school, they would say, oh, today was so limes, as in it was good, or today was so lemons, as in it was bad. And they were telling me that's what the kids are saying. So as soon as I heard that, I came home and I reported to you. I was like, yo, before you get blindsided by this, limes are good, lemons are bad, learn it, memorize it. And that went nowhere. I haven't heard that since.
Nobody's saying it. Maybe
so
something,
I think
just one kid.
We are the limes and lemons people.
We may create it. If it comes out, they're like, hey, this podcast. Start talking about limes and lemons.
If you hear limes and lemons in the next 6 months, you're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Give us our credit.
And we admit it's stupid. Okay, we know that, right? But
we
admit. All right, I admit it's stupid. So if it catches on, I mean, I don't want the criticism for it, but it might.
We don't want the criticism, but we'll take the praise. It's like Trump with like the 2020 election. It's like, if we win, the election wasn't rigged. If we lose, it was. It's one of those things. If people like lemons and limes, that was us. If it wasn't, we heard it from somebody else.
It's funny because you talk, and I have these. I keep looking at my tablet because I have notes and things like that. I just try to think of little things we're going to talk to, and so it's great when you say something like that because it just segues like, oh yeah, we're going to mention that.
Uh-oh.
Political views. We have very different political views, you and I. Do we not?
Yeah, we do.
Now, I am 53 years old.
I am not.
You are not. You're 20 years old.
Yes.
I used to be Republican, and then I voted Democrat.
Woo!
And then
Obama.
Yeah. And then I voted an independent party. And without going through all the elections, the reality is when I looked at all the things that Republicans believe and all the things that Democrats believe, I've realized that I am a moderate. I don't fall into either camp. I dislike the Republican Party on many, many levels. I dislike the Democratic Party on many, many levels. And generally, I'm falling in the middle. So I, like when the Trump-Hillary thing, I couldn't vote for either one of them. I voted for an independent candidate, which some people say is throwing away the vote. So we've talked about political affiliations, but where are you? What are you thinking?
So I'm definitely not right-leaning at all anymore. You'll notice he's turned around looking behind him at, I think the book he's grabbing is The Chinese Communist Party. Mind you, I was studying a foreign language in the military. That's why I have that one. But that is also right next to Das Kapital Volume 1 by Karl Marx. Wow. So, I mean, for what it's worth, yes, I would consider myself more left-leaning, but with that being said, not a Democrat. I don't believe in a lot of the policies of the Democratic Party. I do believe in a lot of socialist ideals and things like that, but definitely...
You're not a communist.
No. If you want to know my political views, go watch Hasanabi on YouTube. That's literally where I get half of my politics from.
What's Wasanabe? What's wasabi?
What
is Hasanabi?
His name is Hassan. Hassan Piker. He is the nephew of the founders of Prager University, which is like a left-leaning news source, kind of like the Daily Wire for leftists.
I've never heard of this.
But he became a Twitch streamer, like a political Twitch streamer. I don't know. This is a terrible comparison because they're not the same at all.
He's like
Alex Jones has Alex Jones has a web series where he talks politics, stuff like that.
Yes.
Imagine if Alex Jones wasn't just huffing paint in all of his free time. It was actually like a sane human being that didn't deny Sandy Hook and was on the left instead of the right. He's just like, he has web shows, he invites guests on, he talks to them, he reacts to Congress speeches that have been going on, he keeps you up to date on the news, basically.
What's the name again?
Hassan Abi.
And that one, how do they find it on whatever?
It's on Twitch, obviously. He's like the number 4 most viewed Twitch streamer. And then
Twitch is a thing, apparently.
Twitch was in Glass Onion.
Twitch was in Glass Onion. That's
Yeah.
it. Wait, Twitch was... Oh, yeah, because that's what
Dave Bautista did.
Glass Onion was a cool movie. We watched that. Yeah, it was fun. It's not going to win an Academy Award, but it was very enjoyable.
But it does bring up a fun topic. I asked you to bring Shawshank back up, and I'm coming back. This connects.
Andy Dufresne.
So I was watching a YouTube video this morning, and I stopped watching about halfway through because I wanted to talk about it on the podcast.
Ooh, let's do it.
It was called Glass Onion Killed Cinema, or Knives Out Killed Cinema.
What?
And I was like, if anything, I feel like Knives Out got more people interested in like non-traditional blockbusters again, right? Like it's not exploding big blue portals in the sky, but it was a movie a lot of people saw. Yeah. So I watched the video, and it was saying that Knives Out is the example of how Hollywood went from being a game where anyone could drop a movie, they could drop a mid-budget, they could drop a high-budget blockbuster, and people would go see them. And now there's two options in Hollywood. You either drop your low-budget indie film, like The Whale, right? And it performs Brendan Fraser. And you make money. Mm-hmm. Or you drop your blockbuster like Avatar 2, and you hope it makes $2 billion, and you make money. He said that movies like Knives Out are an example of the death of the mid-budget film, like Shawshank Redemption, Gremlins, Home Alone. The movies that had some money behind them, definitely. There was some nice production value, but they weren't Steven Spielberg animating a live dinosaur behind you, you know? Like they were the middle ground that everyone still saw. And now there is no middle. If you're the middle ground movie, you're direct to DVD or you're going to Netflix, you know?
Whereas Knives Out would have been something people would have gone to the theater to see. And now they just release it on streaming.
Right. And Knives Out could have been a mid-budget movie, but it has a ridiculously high budget, even though it didn't need to. They hired Daniel Craig and Chris Evans and like all these different people.
Chris Evans? Oh, the original Knives Out. Yeah, sorry.
So like, they didn't want to be the low-budget indie film. They wanted that big blockbuster film, so they just spent more and more money for the sake of spending more money, because you can't release that mid-budget movie anymore. You can't release that movie with one star actor, because that's how you end up with 50 John Travolta movies in the clearance section at Walmart.
Oh yeah,
like, those are mid-budget movies, not low-budget indie films like La La Land.
La La Land, was that low budget? I had Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling in it.
Right, but you can get an actor for $1 million, and if your budget's $2 million, that's low budget. Not Kevin Smith, $17,000.
Oh, that was his first movie. But
by today's standards,
Kevin Smith. I mean, to make Tusk was $5 million.
Right, like if you get a decent actor,
awesome director.
Yeah, you're a fan.
I'm a big fan, but not everybody's cup of tea. But I like him. I like his stuff.
We'll be reviewing in the future.
We'll be reviewing.
But like, if you were to get an actor and you get everything planned perfectly, so you can shoot your entire movie, no reshoots, in let's say a month, right? And you say, "Hey, Jeremy Renner, welcome out of the hospital. Marvel doesn't want you because
you lost a leg."
Yeah, that's a lot of CGI.
I hope that. Wow,
that got dark. We're praying that doesn't happen to Jeremy Renner. It was just the first name that came to mind.
Man, I hope he didn't really lose a leg.
I also hope he didn't lose a leg. That'd be awful. By a snowplow, that's a terrible way to lose a leg.
Terrible.
Not that there's a good way to lose a leg, but that's a bad one.
There's no good way. Shark attack.
Medical amputation.
Yeah, that's not
You're
a shark
asleep,
attack. Shark attack would be so scary, but what a BA story you'd have later.
Soul Surfer.
And she lost an arm.
That sucks.
And then kept surfing.
Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, wow. This is how we do.
You pay an actor $1 million for that 1 month. And then you have another $1 million post-production, pre-production, editing, equipment, cameras, things like that. You could potentially, for $1 million for a month, get a pretty high-name actor, especially at the rate that there's like turnover. Like if you were to get Will Smith right now, kind of struggling for work, and you offered him $1 million for a month, I feel like you can get Will Smith, and I feel like you could.
You think you get Will Smith for $1 million for 1 month? I don't think so. I mean, he's
not for a month. For Will Smith, I think you can get $1 million for like a week.
I mean,
a lot in a week.
It's a lot in a week, but I don't know as $1 million goes that far anymore. And especially in Hollywood for these big name actors and actors. I'm with you. I don't know what Will Smith's going right now is. Less than it used to be.
Yeah, less than it was before the Oscars? Was that the Oscars?
Yeah, it's been like a year now almost.
Yeah. That was early on. It was like April.
Yeah, that's nuts. Okay.
I don't know. I'll hit up Will Smith. I'll let you know.
Hit him up. See what you
give him a call.
Because you have come back after leaving the military, and you have a job, and you're doing that right now. But what do you want to do?
I want to be a filmmaker still.
I want to be a filmmaker. So that film will come up a lot. We'll talk about film and things like that.
Thus the camera that we're on.
Yeah.
It's nicer than an iPhone by a little bit.
By a little bit. I have an iPhone. Let me see here. Yeah, it looks better.
Yeah, a little bit. Whoa.
That's my wife.
That's my mom.
That's your mom.
Dude, that's my mom.
No, otherwise known as the same person.
What?
Same person. You mentioned Gremlins. You know how Gremlins affected Hollywood? Gremlins is uniquely... Gremlins is unique as a movie for a very specific reason that happened back in the 80s that we may have talked about on our podcast.
Was it the first PG-13 movie?
It was not. It was the movie that parents required a PG-13 rating. It was PG. Gremlins was PG, but it was violent and scary, and the parents protested against Gremlins and thought it's too over the top. But it wasn't R. It didn't have the bad language or nudity in it, but it was a little more scary for younger kids. So they said there needs to be something in between. So the whatever organization there in Hollywood that makes those things created...
Whoa. People are going to think you're like pulling a Kanye.
I really don't know what that... I don't know the name of the people.
The board,
whatever. So they decided there needs to be a PG-13 rating system, but Gremlins had already come out. And that already got a PG rating. And then
so they retroactively upgraded it?
No, it's still rated PG. If you would see it right now, it's still rated PG. They don't retroactively do these movies. That's what it was rated at the time.
So did PG-13 exist? Was Gremlins what made them create it?
Gremlins is what made them create the PG-13 rating. And then the first movie that was released with the PG-13 rating was Red Dawn with Patrick Swayze. Red Dawn, about Cubans or some country.
The Cuban Missile Crisis.
Well, no, they're invading a small town. It's
what?
actually really good.
I don't remember Red Dawn.
I don't know you saw it. It's like an 80s movie, but Red Dawn was the first movie. That's okay.
Okay.
No big deal.
Sounded familiar, and then you said that, and I was like, I'm way off.
How do you feel about your singers?
Huh?
What do you know about singers? About musical artists?
Enough.
Have you heard about the Rolling Stones?
Michael Jackson being put at 83rd is a slight against humanity.
Rolling Stone just released a top 200 singers of all time. Of all time. You're saying Michael Jackson was 83rd? I didn't know that.
Michael Jackson got snubbed.
Who did they leave off the list? Did you hear this?
Mm-mm.
Good, bad, or indifferent, whether you like her music or not. Celine Dion. Celine Dion
but
arguably...
Nav made the list?
Rolling Stones made the list.
No, arguably, like Nav the artist.
Yeah.
He's like 23rd.
Arguably one of the greatest singers of all time. Whether you agree with that or like her music, you cannot deny the fact the girl can wail. Arms of an Angel.
Is that Celine Dion?
No. Arms of an Angel is Sarah McLachlan. Is that right?
Didn't she do the song for like Titanic?
She did the song for Titanic. Yeah.
How's that go?
Near, far, wherever you are, I believe that my heart will go on. I'm not singing it. I'm not trying to.
I don't know. I didn't get that. No.
Okay. So Celine Dion does not even make the top 200 list, which is crazy. It was all over the news like a few days ago.
Did Kanye?
Who would you think on a modern day era, if you're comparing the top? Yeah, did Kanye? I better not. I almost let that one slide, and I had to come back to it. Who do you think of our modern day singers would be on the list of the greatest singers of all time? Top 200. Like, that are singing today, now.
It depends who's making it.
You are.
I'm making it.
Oh, well, I mean, you are, but you're trying to get the sense as to what the general public as a whole believes. It's not just...
The aliens come down, they review us. The aliens, right?
Sure.
They have no politics. It's just based on singing abilities.
It's just on abilities and skills. For example, I'll give you an example. I would say, as a modern day person, Adele. Adele would classify as one of the top 200 singers of all time. I'm not saying where she is on the list. I'm not saying she's number 1. I'm not saying she's 20. I'm not saying she's 200. But she's on the list.
Okay.
She's in the top 200.
This is controversial. I would put both. Again, we're taking all politics out of it. Just for singing ability. And cultural impact. Chris Brown and Usher definitely belong on that list.
Oh my God, you and Chris Brown.
Chris Brown is talented. Name another artist that's been going 25 years and still could drop a number 1 hit any day.
I don't know that many modern day artists.
Right. People fade out. And he has stayed relevant and still drops like #1 albums.
Chris Brown.
Chris Brown and Usher, again, politics aside, musically very talented. I'd also put Bruno Mars up there.
Bruno Mars, okay.
An argument could be made for Anderson .Paak, but I don't think he has the most impressive voice. He just uses it the best. Show you! That'd be Song of the Day.
Well, Anderson .Paak. Okay, I don't know who that is.
Yes, it'll be part of your Song of the Day treatment.
Okay.
Who else? Ariana Grande.
Oh, yeah. I would put Ariana Grande on that list.
Taylor Swift, obviously.
Is Taylor Swift? Yeah, I mean, she sings well. That Midnight's album is bomb.
I haven't heard anything. I have not listened to a song off of it. Other than Antihero, which you play all the time, but I don't even listen to it.
Yeah.
I've learned the lyrics of that song from you singing it.
That's a great album.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
Who else? I mean, Selena Gomez, Katy Perry. Also, weird comment. Beyonce's daughter has a Grammy and Katy Perry doesn't.
Beyonce's daughter has a
Grammy for a performance on one of Beyonce's albums. She got like best performance of the year. So Blue Ivy, who's like 13, has a Grammy and Katy Perry doesn't. Neither does Ariana Grande, Selena Gomez, Miley Cyrus. None of them have Grammys, but Blue Ivy does.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Now you do.
Okay. Is Katy Perry relevant anymore?
Katy Perry got pregnant, dropped one album that flopped, and then disappeared.
Wow.
I think she could make a very good comeback. I don't think she was ever canceled or anything like that. She just kind of... She went the 2016 Miley Cyrus route for a couple months and was like crazy. She's shaving her hair. She's doing all these weird things.
Yeah.
And then she just kind of disappeared in the middle of that. And if she comes back, Upstanding Member Society drops a normal album, I don't think society has left Katy Perry behind enough to where that she can't come back.
They're not mad at her. She's just not doing anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, they were like, Miss Perry, you should stop. And instead of being like Miley Cyrus, where she just pushed through and kept going and then bounced back, she was like, I should stop? Okay. And she just left. Like, she'd listened to everyone. They're like, we don't like what you're doing. She just stopped.
Okay.
I think she's just taking care of her kids.
Fair enough. Well, you know what? That's a great thing to do. It's not like she doesn't have plenty of money.
Yeah, I mean, Miley Cyrus's 9th studio album's coming out, and I think I would go as far as say Miley Cyrus made a comeback in the eyes of the public.
Yeah, she got wacky there for a while, but I mean, she didn't get so wacky. She didn't go the Britney Spears route where, I don't know that, did she go wacky to the point that people thought Miley Cyrus actually had mental problems, or she just got very weird in her delivery of what she was doing? Like, they thought, like, they were worried for Britney. They thought Britney...
You've heard about what came out with that, with her dad being involved?
Oh, yeah.
That's...
Yeah.
No, I don't think Miley Cyrus got that. I think a lot of people are just like, oh my god, spoiled Disney kid. Like, what happened to you?
Yeah.
And they kind of were, like, upset about it, but I don't think people genuinely questioned her sanity, no.
Fair enough.
I could be wrong. I don't remember.
Another thing I had, switching gears again.
Oh,
you got stuff.
Gear shift.
Yeah. We were talking the other day about a show, Euphoria, which I've never seen. You say is phenomenal. You've watched it. And I was talking about Wednesday, which I've also never seen. The show on Netflix about Wednesday Addams, based on the Charles Addams thing, which is very popular. And we were saying, I was saying that Wednesday was the most viewed Netflix show of 2022, I believe. I might have that wrong.
I think so.
And you said Euphoria had more dialogue, more talk about it on Twitter than Wednesday did, and because of that, that Euphoria is more a part of pop culture, is a bigger influence on pop culture than Wednesday was.
Yes.
And so I guess the question is, I'm not really sure exactly how to verbalize it, but if one show is viewed more than any other show, and the other show is talked about more than any other show, which is the bigger presence?
The one that's talked about?
And
because
why?
I feel like the cultural impact is a very real thing, whereas Wednesday is a very marketable show. Your kids can watch it. Your grandma can watch it. You can watch it. You can put it on for the entire family.
Okay.
If you run a business, you can just have it on in the background because like it's something people have seen. They recognize it. It's family friendly. Euphoria, not as much people are going to watch it. Because HBO Max has like 17% of the market share. Like the third biggest dog, but they're still a little dog. They're still a little chihuahua, you know?
Biggest one is Netflix.
But yeah, they have like 70% market share.
And the second one is what? Who?
I think Disney Plus.
Disney Plus?
Prime Video?
All right, either way. Sorry, not trying to
One of them. There's like a pie chart you can find online. But I think Euphoria, the fact that... Say what you will about the show. I thought it was okay. I enjoyed it. I'll watch season 3 when it comes out weekly. I liked the cultural influence it had, where every Sunday, the number 1 trending thing on Twitter, through like the number 5 trending thing, were things that happened in the episode. People were live tweeting throughout the show, and everyone kind of felt connected, kind of in a way that we haven't seen since before the pandemic. Like when Game of Thrones would come on, or The Walking Dead, good. And everyone would gather around, and there's those videos of people on streets looking up at buildings, and everyone's TVs are in sync because everyone is watching the same thing. That I don't think we've had in a very long time. I think Euphoria is the closest to that we will get in the streaming age, because they would come out 8 o'clock every Sunday, and at 8 o'clock, even me, I was in the military barracks time, I'd walk down the hallways and you would hear the same song playing on 15 different TVs because everyone's watching it.
Wow.
So like, yes, it's not as many people are watching as watched Wednesday because everyone has Netflix. It's like a bill, not a subscription service. It's just something people accept that they have. But like, people talking about something means it's impacting culture. A butt ton of people have seen Avatar 2, but nobody's talking about it.
It's weird. Yeah,
it's made almost $2 billion. You don't know anything about it. I saw it. You didn't. Nope. Like,
I don't know anybody that saw it except you, and somehow it's made $2 billion.
Now we flip that, and Shazam, or Black Adam, made what, $500 million? But I still hear people talking about Justice League of America and the Superman cameo and all the things that happened in that movie that nobody saw. So like, where's the trade-off? I feel like...
So if you want to be a film producer, because you've talked about that, or a director, or make movies, what would you rather have? Would you rather have a film that more people have seen, that you have influenced, like so many people have seen your films, like James Cameron, like Titanic, Avatar, is a great example, or something that sits in people's minds and they talk about it more on social media, but does not have the real permeation within society of everybody seeing it? What would you rather have as a filmmaker?
It's a double-edged sword, because on one hand, if you make that James Cameron money, you make that Christopher Nolan money, you have, the studios will be like, oh, you've got it like that, huh? And you have the opportunity to make whatever you want.
For sure.
It gives you creative freedom.
Yep.
Whereas Sam Levinson, the guy who made Euphoria, he made an incredibly the most successful show on HBO Max. But if he were to go to Netflix and say, hey, I want to make a new show, realistically, unless it is very similar to Euphoria in concept, Netflix isn't going to greenlight it. They're going to be like, you're a great director at directing this one type of thing, but no, we don't want to have something different. We want you to make a new Euphoria. You know, he kind of gets typecast. Yeah, exactly. I feel like once Euphoria ends, it will be very hard for Sam Levinson to recreate that kind of lightning in a bottle success he's had with this one show, because he's gotten very good at directing this one show. But say he wants to go do something different, wants to make a superhero show. Could Sam Levinson do The Boys? I don't think so.
Ooh,
I don't think he could.
The Boys is excellent. It
is, and they're both dark, mature topics. They both deal with drug use and public perceptions of it and violence and things like that. But I don't think Sam Levinson could write The Boys. I don't think he could. I think the writers of The Boys could make Euphoria, if that makes sense. Yeah, I'd go as far as say, like, I don't know. That's my stance. I feel like you can have somebody else create Euphoria. You can't have the team behind Euphoria create some of the other things in pop culture.
Okay. I get that. Yeah. I get that. All right. Very cool. Very cool.
Hot take.
Hot take. Hot take. You got a game for me, right?
I do have a game for you.
While you're looking at that, we're going to talk about something real quick. We've talked about, for guys, for dudes, there's a toilet urinal protocol, right?
Yes.
We're not going to go. Yeah, everybody gets like innate. Guys just know that when you go up to a urinal, you'd never go to the one where a guy's already in there. We know that. So we've talked about that before. In a movie theater, to stick on the movie theater thing, you sit down in a movie theater, a whole row full of people. Which armrest is yours? All movies seats share an armrest.
Wait.
Right? Movie theaters.
Do the left and the right have...
The left, at the vans there's armrests, and all the way through there's armrests. But at the end of the day, once you add them all in, there's one less armrest than there are elbows. Unless you're Hawkeye and you lost an arm, I guess.
That's
dang, it's dark. Sorry, Jeremy Renner. We hope that didn't happen. Which armrest is yours?
I think...
Is it the right one? Because most people are right-handed?
It's in a group of people. That would make sense. It goes by groups. Your armrest is whichever one faces towards the group. So if you have a group of 4, the person on the far right uses the left armrest. If you're the person on the far left, you use the right armrest, and the other 2 in the middle, figure it out. Whichever one's available.
Wait, if you're the person on the right and you use the left, then the next one uses the left, and the third one uses the left, and the next one uses the left, but then you got a stranger sitting next to you there.
Yeah, the person on the far end uses the right, and the people in the middle have to share one.
Okay. I mean, this isn't a deep philosophical question. I just was wondering that.
I think right, because most of society is right-handed.
Okay.
And then usually movie theaters aren't packed every seat now, so whoever has
That's true.
the
Good
one
point.
empty seat next to them, they can flip it.
That is a good point. That
They
is
can flip
unfortunate
direction.
about the decline of theaters. They're not always that packed anymore.
I mean, now most of them are the big, comfy recliners where it's like...
The armrest is this wide.
It's 2 chairs where they share 3 armrests.
Yeah.
And then there's like a gap for like a table
Yeah,
or like a big
that's true.
medium
Or you can
thing.
fold it up.
Yeah,
At least here
exactly.
in Aurora or Denver, Colorado.
Yeah. And
Theaters around here.
California?
Cauliflower.
Cauliflower. Cholera.
Yeah, something like that.
All right, I've got a game for you.
He's got a game for me. We're going to segue over that. I've run through most of my list.
Might have seen this one on YouTube, Facebook. Not an original thing, not even the quotes. I stole this from a video. I just wanted to play this with you. Coming back to a topic from earlier, we're going to play a quick game called Was It a Kanye West or an Adolf Hitler quote?
Oh, God. This is not good.
I'm quite proud of this list, honestly.
What is it, a
curated
Kanye
this,
West
you're
or
a big
Adolf
fan.
Hitler quote? These are things that one of these 2 men said. They're all Kanye.
And no, they're not all Kanye.
All right.
I might have to go back to war. I just might have to.
I might have to go back to war. I just might have to. Well, that's... I can't think what context Kanye would say this. I'm going to say that's Hitler.
That is Kanye. Kanye West.
Kanye, go back to war.
That is
Has he been at
Kanye
war?
West. He gone to war with the media.
Oh, my God. Okay.
I stand here as a revolutionary. It is as a revolutionary against the revolution.
That sounds stupid, so I'm going to say Kanye.
That is Adolf Hitler.
Oh, my God. I'm 0 for 0. I stand here as a revolutionary. I'm revolutionizing against the revolution. What?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's like you want to be more conservative. You want to be more stuck in your ways.
Okay. All right. I'm hearing you.
When a man is starving on the streets, he's not thinking of bread and water, but of caviar and champagne.
When a man... That also sounds stupid. I think he's thinking of
I
bread
actually think
and
that's
water.
a really good quote.
I don't think you're thinking of... You think a homeless man's thinking of caviar and champagne?
When I'm broke, I'm not thinking about coming home to eat food. I'm thinking of how good the McDonald's I just drove by looked.
There's a difference between being broke, having a job, living in middle-class suburbia, and being starving on the streets. I'm saying that's Kanye. Kanye made that.
That's Hitler.
What the heck? Am I literally 0 for 0 on
You are
this?
0 for 3.
Oh my God. How many of these are there?
5, 6.
6. Let's do it. I am not good at this.
Nothing in life is promised except death.
Hitler.
Kanye.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I mean, even the law of 50-50 would
This
think
is
I'd do
rough.
better than this.
I realize that my position in history is that I will go down as the voice of this generation, of this decade, and that I will be the loudest voice.
That will be Kanye.
That is Kanye.
That one I figured.
Who says I am not under the special protection of God?
I am not under the special protection of
Who
God.
says that?
Kanye says that.
Actually, it's Nazi party leader Adolf Hitler. And then lastly,
I got 1 out of 6 so far.
I could design something for Obama to go to the club in.
Well, that wouldn't be Hitler because it didn't know Obama. That's Kanye.
Michelle Obama. No, I'm kidding. Yes, it's Kanye West.
Oh my God. So what we've learned here is that Kanye and Hitler are very interchangeable.
What we've learned is you're just not up to date on your 1942 knowledge.
I am not up to date on my 1940 or my 2023 Kanye
Or your
knowledge,
2020.
which I am not looking to be updated on.
Where is Kanye right now?
Doesn't he have like a ranch or farm in like Montana or Wyoming?
Wyoming.
Oh, Wyoming.
Yeah, he owns the largest chunk of land in Wyoming.
He's like right above us. We're in Colorado. He's 1 state up.
That's true. He might be there, but we don't know. He's missing. Kanye's been missing for like 2 weeks now.
Oh, like missing, like people are looking for him missing? Or he's just off the
missing,
grid?
like Adidas wants to serve him his contract separation paperwork and they can't find him.
Wait, contract separation, it's not a lawsuit or anything. They're just like, we're done with you.
Yeah, they're just going to file it to him. And they can't. They can't mail it to him because they don't know which house he's at.
Wow. Okay. I didn't know he was missing.
And his
He
daughter...
doesn't tweet?
No.
Isn't his daughter North?
He got banned off Twitter. Yes, North. He's got 5 kids. North is growing up to be a little Kanye West, which has been fun to watch because Kim got the kids, obviously, and yet Kanye still has to pay like a ridiculous amount of child support, despite Kim being a billionaire. Either way, North dresses like Kanye, acts like Kanye. She dropped a TikTok with Kim where she was lip syncing to a Kanye song that was a love letter to Kim while dressed in Kanye West makeup, like right down to the wrinkles and the goatee. It's like, it's a weird thing for a daughter
after
to
they
do.
divorced?
Yes, this was like a couple days
The
ago.
daughter is singing a song to her mother that the ex-husband wrote to her?
Yes.
That's a
and
little weird.
I'll put the clip on screen here and we'll cut this little space out, but I'm going to show you.
That's a little weird.
It's...
He's going to show me some. It does not hold up well for a podcast for us to look at something on a phone, but...
Well, we'll show them.
Oh, we get to show them?
Yeah.
All right, stay tuned. Big special effects are going to be added to this video. This is his daughter,
Yeah, this is his daughter dressed as Kanye.
and that's Kim, right?
Yes. She's also wearing Yeezy shades, which I think is worth noting.
That's
Kanye's clothing
bizarre.
brand. Yeah.
I promise you, going forward, we are not going to be sports heavy in our conversations, nor are we going to talk about Kanye.
Unless he does something worth talking about.
Which is never.
What happened to the Pope?
The ex-pope died.
Yeah, good.
Wow.
Good riddance. Rest in piss.
What?
Yes!
Anti-pope?
Anti-Pope Benedict, yes!
Why anti-pope eggs Benedict?
Pope Eggs Benedict? Because my man's helped orchestrate like the mass cover-up of the sexual abuse of like millions of children.
Is that the pope that did it?
Yes, he was the Pope in charge when that happened.
I think that's been happening for the past several decades.
But when it all came out, he was the one that they found out had been like footing the bill for the majority of that.
Is that right?
Yeah, rest in piss.
Wow.
Glad
he
he's
was
dead.
the one.
Good
He was the
riddance.
first pope that actually retired in 600 years. He wasn't the serving pope.
Yeah, because he got bullied out. Because he covered up the sexual abuse of children.
I thought we knew about sexual abuse of children like 3 decades ago. I may be
It's
wrong.
a bigger deal in the like 2000s to like 2010, that era.
The Me Too movement.
Before that.
The Me Pope movement.
When the Mark Ruffalo made a movie about Me movement.
Wow. Okay. I am not familiar with that. I hear you. It came out hot with a strong stance against Pope.
Yes!
Pope Eggs Benedict.
Good
You know
riddance.
they get to choose their name? Something like that. I mean, he's not named.
They get to... and my guy went with Francis.
Yeah, I think that's it. They don't
Yeah,
something
Malcolm
about it.
in the
They
Middle
don't. They don't get. They get to pick their name or something like that. It's not like that's why you don't have like a Pope Bob.
I would love to be Pope Bob.
Pope Bob would be
I'm
awesome.
converting.
Yeah, there was. If you look way back, Kathleen Madigan does a bit where she says way back in like 1300s there was a Pope. Was it Ridiculous or something like that? I know. She's a female comedian. Super funny.
Good for them.
Yeah, I'm glad the Kanye Hitler thing.
Oh.
Yes.
I stole this from another podcast I
Let's
watch,
hear it.
actually,
Do it.
so... Any crossover with The Yard, I'm sorry.
The Yard.
The Yard.
Is that the one where they're sitting out back?
It is the one where they're sitting out back.
like
and
the
they
barbecue
talk about all
pit?
the inappropriate stuff, yeah. They talked about a thing that I didn't know about, and I ended up doing research on afterwards. The Pashtu Lama. Are you familiar?
The Dalai Lama. I've heard of him.
The Pashtu Lama.
Is that his wife?
No, it is the person who appoints the Dalai Lama. It's one spirit that passes body to body when they die. That is the person who designates, like, this is the new Dalai Lama whenever the Dalai Lama dies, right? 1995, 1996, somewhere around there, mid-90s. China, give me our Pashtu Lama. They kidnap him. He's 6 years old. They take the Pashtu Lama and they run away. And they come out with a stance a little while ago, actually not that long ago, saying Pashtu Lama's alive. He's well. He's in his 30s now. He's given up Buddhism and Hinduism. And he's no longer serving as the Pashtu Lama. He's just out living in society now. So, when the Dalai Lama dies, there will never be another official Dalai Lama because the person who's supposed to appoint them is gone.
This sounds crazy.
This is insane. That is such a...
That one person is supposed to appoint. What if that person had gotten hit by a truck like right before the Dalai Lama
Somebody
died?
else to be appointed.
that the spirit of the Pashtun Lama would go into somebody else. So the Pashtun Lama is still alive. He was kidnapped by China when he was 6. It sounds like the Golden Child movie for Eddie Murphy back in the 80s.
Yeah.
Okay, a little kid is the one that is supposed to appoint the new Dalai Lama.
Well, he wasn't going to stay a little kid. He was going to grow up. He
Right.
had just taken the title of Pashtun Lama.
And without that, you can have somebody become the Dalai Lama, but he's not officially appointed by the Pashtun Lama.
Like, the church could say, like, Greg over here has been serving faithfully for years. He's our new Dalai Lama. But he will never be the official Dalai Lama because the Pashtun Lama never designated, like, oh, I feel his soul going to you. There will never be an official Dalai or Pashtun Lama again.
Kids, get yourself some Jesus in your life because all other religions are weird.
Wow! And I'm the one with the Kanye tattoo. Wow! That's a bold stance.
Bold statement.
Oh my god!
Get yourself some Jesus.
Oh my god!
Oh man, that's funny.
Yes. So I thought that was fascinating.
I've never
and it's
heard that.
Not a big story now, obviously, but when the Dalai Lama dies,
He's
gonna
old.
be like that's gonna be like global news. Like everyone's gonna know about the Pashtun Lama as soon as he dies, because people are gonna talk about it. Be like, who's the new Dalai Lama? And then everyone's gonna be like,
when you were watching a bunch of documentaries, did you watch The Vow, the Nexium thing?
no, I saw it a bunch. I never watched it. I didn't even know the documentary.
That dude was endorsed by the Dalai Lama, the dude that is now in prison. It's weird. Or maybe endorsed. Yeah, he met with the Dalai Lama.
That's
very
flop.
weird. Yeah. I love documentaries.
Yes.
I pour over documentaries.
I was underwhelmed. I went through a huge kick where I was watching a bunch of documentaries on the Mormon Church, the fundamentalist Latter-day Saints, like the extremists of the Mormon Church. And they kept talking about how there were a few of them that were on the FBI's top 10 most wanted list. And I was like, this is fascinating. So I got curious and was like, I watched NCIS growing up. They had the top 10 list like on a wall in the background of that show. Like I thought it was like this elusive club that's hard to get into. So I look it up. I'm expecting to see like the next Osama bin Laden or like El Chapo's kids or something like that. MS-13 members. And you look it up and the top 10 list on the FBI's most wanted list is mostly just like, one of them is like number 8, I think, is a guy who shot a police officer and then fled the country. And that's his only crime, is he shot a cop who didn't even die. It was attempted murder and fleeing the country before trial. And he is the number 8 most wanted man by the FBI.
That's weird.
That is weird. And like, there's a few of them like that, where it's just like, they committed crimes that, yes, they should be in jail. Like attempted murder or manslaughter or something like that. But they fled the country, and they ended up on the top 10 list.
That is weird.
I was like, do we not have a lot going on? Is it a slow day over at the FBI?
I wonder what composes the top 10 list. I mean, obviously, number 1 is Red Reddington from the Blacklist, because he's the worst one. Italian, nice.
Good job.
Yeah, but that is weird.
It goes by time on the list, but even like number 7, I think, has only been on there since like July of last year. So it's like, it doesn't make sense. And like, there's a couple of them where it's like,
we should pull that up on one of the podcasts and see what people's crimes were.
That'll be next week's.
And why they're on it. Because FBI top 10 most wanted. You're thinking
you're either
they've got to be the worst of the
Panther
worst.
Party.
You've got your Osama bin Laden, your Hitler, your Kanye, your Chris Brown. They're all on those lists.
That just sounds racist now because you put them back to back.
Oh wow! All right, let's put somebody else in there.
Martin Shkreli, Sam Bankman-Fried.
I don't even know who that is.
Sam Bankman-Fried?
Sam
FTX.
Fake Bread Freud. Oh, FTX. The guy, the weird dude. What did he like? He
went to the Bahamas.
Trouble.
He
didn't just screw it up. He actually was doing stuff illegal, right?
Yeah, I mean fraud.
Fraud. Yeah, that's illegal.
Like embezzlement.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Defrauding investors. All right. I have a challenge for you.
Challenge.
There's headphones right next to you.
Ooh.
If you want to put those on, I'm going to go ahead and play a song for you.
Play a song.
This bitch got me paying her rent, paying for trips, diamonds on her neck, diamonds on her wrist.
I like the melody on it, or not the. I like the sound. I like the music in it.
Right.
I'm not a big fan of the lyrics.
Why are you not a fan of the lyrics?
I don't know, man. It's just it's this. I don't know. It doesn't.
She was taking advantage of him.
She was taking advantage.
She had her kids running around his whole crib like it's Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, I know. And
she put him in a jam with her ex-man from the UFC. He can't believe. He's in disbelief.
I get it. It's the music is cool. It's kind of got this. What is that band? Like the two-person duo, Bruno Mars and that other guy.
Anderson .Paak.
And, that's Anderson .Paak?
That's what you just listened to, yeah.
That was the one that the
is
two of
them,
them.
yeah.
I knew you gave me Song of the Day of them one time before.
Yeah.
I was going to say it sounds a lot like them.
Because it is them.
It is them. Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lyrics don't grab me as much. I don't really love them.
But it's the vibe.
But the vibe is cool. I could listen to music like that, you know?
Yeah, I want to go see them in Vegas so bad.
Why in Vegas?
They have a residency there right now.
Oh, wow.
It's expensive, though. It's like $1,000 a ticket.
What?
It's expensive.
That's too much.
Yeah. Austin and I are thinking about saving up, buying tickets for a night to go to Vegas. We go to the show. We don't even get a hotel. We just sleep in our car and then we fly back the next day. Just to see them.
Sleep in what car? They going to rent a car?
Fudge. Sleep in the airport?
Bad plan. The reality in Vegas, as long as you're not trying to stay in like the super deluxe penthouse.
Luxor.
Yeah, the hotels aren't as bad in Vegas because they expect they're going to make up their money on the gambling.
That makes sense.
I just hear squeaky beans waking
I
up.
also hear there's a baby waking up out there. Do you want to take care of that?
We might need to wrap this up.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How long have we been going? Have we been dropping
1 hour, 27 minutes, 49 seconds.
90 minute podcast?
Almost
yeah.
on the dot.
On the dot. That's how we do.
Thank you
'Cause
so
we're
much to our
professionals.
sponsor, HelloFresh. If
Oh.
you go down in the description, there
And
is a
Rocket
code
Mortgage.
that you can. No, not Rocket Mortgage.
Rocket.
We're not sponsored by Rocket Mortgage.
HelloFresh.
There is a code down in the comment section down below. If you guys want to go check it out, you guys can get 60% off your first order. You get like 6 free boxes with HelloFresh. You just use the code down below. POGHF73.
Time out. Are you doing a bit?
No, I'm dead serious. This is sponsored by
Are you
HelloFresh.
are you joking?
No, I'm dead serious. This is sponsored by HelloFresh.
We have a sponsor?
I've had a sponsor. Why do you think I asked you like 6 months ago if you ever wanted to try HelloFresh? And just randomly want to know your thoughts on HelloFresh.
We have a sponsor.
Yes, HelloFresh sponsors Schmickle, which I'm just extending to cereal time.
Tell me about this HelloFresh.
HelloFresh, basically, I'm lazy. I like to eat cereal, thus the name of this podcast.
Yes.
But every once in a while, if I'm craving a home-cooked
Right,
meal,
yeah.
for a lazy man like me, it's simple. I just go ahead and grab my HelloFresh box, throw it in the microwave for 2 minutes, and all of a sudden, I've got the delicious home-cooked meal.
It's already made.
And you can have 6 of them completely free of charge just by using the code down in the description and the link down below.
That's awesome.
Isn't it?
I am in love with the fact that we have a sponsor for this. I had no
Yes,
idea.
now you know.
HelloFresh.
HelloFresh.
The best stuff on the market.
Wow.
That's
That's a, yeah. Sure.
Very awesome.
Best stuff on the market. HelloFresh.
Best stuff on the market. Try it. Get your code. What do we say? 150% off?
Well,
No?
close.
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 How much off?
65? 60?
65% off?
Yeah.
We should probably know that.
Your first order, you get like 6 free boxes.
But anything I'm saying is not relevant to the actual
Just go
discount.
click the code. It'll automatically fill everything out for you. You just get to pick what kind of food you want, when you want it, how much of it you want. You click pay and you send it.
Sounds great.
It's pretty easy.
That's it.
Thank you for watching Cereal Time.
Thank you for watching Serial
See you
Time.
next week.
See you next week.
Yeah!
Yeah! Woo! We didn't die.
We didn't die. Yeah, you didn't die.
Oh, I made it through it.
I also only coughed like one time.
Yeah.